This lecture is on the movement of material through the colon, rectum, and anus. So the movement of material then starts out very slow. So the movement of material then is very slow through the ascending colon. You learned about the ascending colon in the last lecture. And this then allows for the reabsorption of water. Then, from the transverse colon onward, the movement is done by way of powerful peristaltic contractions called mass movements. So what did I just say? What I just said is that basically when you have material in your digestive system and it gets as far as the large intestine, as that digested material ascends in the ascending colon, it's going up very, very slowly. It's moving through the colon very, very slowly. That allows water to be reabsorbed. Then when it hits the transverse colon, then suddenly you start getting very powerful peristaltic contractions. You remember peristalsis. Those are waves of contractions that can move materials through tubes, like your colon. And these waves of powerful peristaltic contractions in the large intestine are known as mass movements. And these contractions force the contents of the colon into the rectum and produce the urge to defecate. That is to say, get rid of feces. So then the rectum itself is the last 15 centimeters, that is to say about 6 inches then, of the GI tract. And it ends in an area with longitudinal folds. So folds going along the length of that short bit of tube. Then we have the anus. And this then, anus then is the name of the opening, basically, in the rectum. So the anus then is composed of two sphincters. Remember what sphincter muscles are? And they are then, first of all, the internal anal sphincter, which is not surprisingly on the inside. And then there's the one on the outside, which is the external anal sphincter. That one then is on the outside. And we should note here that the external anal sphincter is skeletal muscle. You recall skeletal muscle. This is the muscle that is under voluntary control. So the external anal sphincter is under voluntary control. At last, remember, all of the movement of the food through your GI tract has not been under voluntary control since you swallowed. When you made that voluntary decision to swallow, if indeed it was voluntary, then you wound up with the food moving through your entire GI tract without your really being able to do anything about it, or your ability to stop it, move it along, or do anything like that. It was entirely under involuntary control due to smooth muscles. Finally, at the very end, you wind up with the external anal sphincter, which is made of skeletal muscle, and that you can control. So you finally get control of your GI tract back at the very last moment. And that is the end of this lecture.